Listen.
If you do not understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Now, sometimes people say, well, you mean everything that I understand will confuse me if I don't understand racism? Yes, because racism is the dominant political and religious motivating force among the people of the planet in all 9 areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. That covers just about everything that any person, minute by minute, might be doing or engaged in any time of day or night, anywhere on the planet. Word L-I-K-E?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely not. If we waited on that, we'd be waiting forever. Because the system is not even designed to have black people like each other. Not to say anything about love. You hear a lot of stuff about black love and whatnot. That's non-existent. You can't have love in the system of white supremacy. That doesn't compute at all. So you have to get the mechanics down. And then you have set the seeds. You have planted the seeds where you can get this liking and this love. You're not going to get it in the system of white supremacy. The system of white supremacy is designed for hostility. And we have all been poisoned by that. So that clears up that mystery, I think. And that is, no, I mean, you are supposed to be able to function with people that you don't care about emotionally at all. Because this thing about having it already in existence, talking about, you hear black people sometimes say something that's absolutely false, and that is talking about this black love that exists. You can't have love in the system of white supremacy. Why? Because what does the word love mean? See, we toss that word around loosely, very loose. So it's meaningless. It means absolutely nothing. It's non-existent. But what is it in essence about what it should be? The word love, and I have this in the word guide, and the word justice are one and the same. You cannot have one without the other. So since you can't have justice, going by the computer now, going by logic, you can't have justice and white supremacy in the same universe at the same time. Therefore, you can't have love either, since love and justice are one and the same. And what is justice? Guaranteeing that no person is mistreated, and guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help. Now, no black person can guarantee that. That's true. Prisoners of war cannot be married. Look at it that way. I like to use the prison analogy because a lot of black people have been in what we call prisons. The code calls it greater confinement, but we're all confined. We're all born in prison, and the name of the prison system is the system of white supremacy. So prisoners of war are not married. We can say we are, but it has to be recognized by the prison masters. And we just get together with someone and say that we are married, and the white supremacist says, yeah, but I officiate over all of you. See, if you're a prisoner of war, you can't make decisions or make promises to your so-called mate. See, when say a married couple, for instance, has to have what? There's an old saying, to raise a child, it takes a village. Well, it takes a system to support a marriage. So if you're in a prison system, you're really not married. You can call a person your wife, but a lady can say, I have a husband. These are just words. But you can't promise that person anything as a prisoner of war. Why? Because you can't promise yourself anything. See, marriage is based on promises made and promises kept. But you can't guarantee anything if you're a person of color on this planet to anybody, because you can't guarantee yourself that you'll even be breathing. If the white supremacists tell you when you're saying, I can't breathe, and the white supremacist says, yeah, I know you can't breathe because I got my arm locked around your neck. And if you die while I'm doing it, you're just a dead Negro, that's all. You're just a dead non-white person. Because I don't have to answer to anybody that looks like you. Ever. I have to answer to other white people. That's what white supremacy means. So, to get back to the point, you're not married unless the white supremacists say that you are. And like the illustration you gave, black people on the slave ship say, I marry you, you know, you and me are going to be, you know, husband and wife. But you can't be a husband because you can't function as one. She's in chains and you're in chains by the chain masters, all right? So when you get where you're going, you say, well, wait a minute, you're going to take her down, you're telling her to go here? That's my wife. We got married on the boat and all like that. And that captain of the boat says, hey, this is a slave woman. She's my slave. In fact, I had her last night, all right, when I called her up from the bottom of the ship before we landed, okay? So you don't have anything, Negro, African, whatever you want to call yourself, tribal leader. You're nothing to me. Neither is she. So I'm saying I'm selling her right now to this bidder here at the slave auction. And she's going down the river. You're going to stay here with me. End of story. So much for your so-called marriage. Now that has not changed because black people will say, well, yeah, I got a wife, but she's in California, but my job is up here in Minnesota. I got to do this, I got to do that. Say, well, how come she's not with you and whatnot? Well, I couldn't take her with me. Okay. Well, why couldn't I? I mean, our money wasn't good enough, you know, wasn't long enough. And I have to move around a lot, I mean, in order to make a living. She doesn't have a job, so I have to move a lot. And my job calls, we can't have, you know, it's the type of job where you can't have your woman with you all the time. Oh, according to whom? According to the people that run my job. And that is black people's plight all over the world. Right now, as we speak, there are black males by the millions who are working on jobs in places where a long ways from their village where they were born. And they're sending money back to what they call their family. They don't really have a family. Why? They're not together. They're not looking at each other. That's all in their imagination. They can't be with the person. They say, well, next year, you know, as soon as this job, I'm a migratory laborer, and I'm in this foreign place, but next year I'll be back with you all. I mean, send me some pictures, you know, and show me who's doing what and how the children have grown and all like that. That hasn't changed. By the millions, dark people moving all over the world at the bidding of whom? Racist man and racist woman. That's why they are moving around. They can't stay where they are. Why can't they stay where they are? Because the white supremacists have made it impossible for them to stay where they are and have anything. Mm-hmm. That's what white supremacy means. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you don't have a wife. You don't have, you don't have any, you can't claim your children as being your own. You have to send them to the slave master, to the captain of the ship, to get food and shelter, just like you have to get it if you're a person of color. Mm-hmm. That's the reality of white supremacy. Now, some people have said they've seen some cartoons of my work on the internet. that have been presented, and that it pretty well embellishes what I have been trying to say in my textbooks. And to the extent that it does that, well, that has been, from what I understand, some people reported to me, a plus. Because they didn't understand what I had written very well, but when they saw those cartoons that just repeated what I was saying and attaching my name to it, and came right out of the book, the material did, they say that they better understood it. And I can understand that because people are kind of visual, particularly in the year 2021 now, more visual than ever.